got mic, got video. Gonna try a new thing. Welcome back. This is a late edition of After Hours. We're continuing the iPad where we left off. Good news for the time being. We're gonna try something new. Going to play some music. Copyright free stuff, obviously. Which is gonna be pretty crappy to say the least. But hey, it's some sound. Alright, so I did find a screw for our missing screw from this plate here. When it was the repair done at the mall kiosk, they only had, if you remember the video from earlier, they only had these two screws in. This one completely missing. I don't know if they dropped it, just figured hell with it, I'm not putting it in. But here it is, gone when we opened it up. However, I did find a very similar size screw that is the right thread. And where I retrieved this compared to, where are you? I lost. Now I gotta find a stupid magnet. Holes. Okay, so very similar size screw. Slightly shorter than the two that are here. These are all the same size, I think. 1.4 millimeter or 4.1 something. They're very small. Let's see if we can get in on this. I doubt it, but we'll try it. So yeah, there's one. It's definitely about same size sticking out. I did not get the micrometer out and measure it, but comparing it, standing them both on head, the one that I found is shorter. So say you do lose one of your screws and no time to waste waiting on ordering another set, where you can get one of these. The two places that I found them is iPhone 5, I think 5 or 5S, and the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. The side rail with the that holds the metal bracket on the back of the screen. Pull one of those Phillips screws out. It's the right size that you need. I tried one from an iPhone 6 Plus and an iPhone 5. So we got two that are the proper size. All right, now that we have our screw, let's go for, we're going to check that we cleaned all the adhesive up around the frame of the iPad. The pick stayed in, which is good. All right, all the alcohol was definitely evaporated. The adhesive remover Goo Gone type substance. Uh, Generally around that color, maybe clear. Get out of the way. All right, so everything has evaporated, dried up. Adhesive cleaned off of those for the most part. The rest of the frame is pretty good. We're going to go around one time with plastic and scrape, doing sure that dirt is out from around the edge. It's going to make an awful sound, but we want this to be pretty clean install. I think this is, well, part of it. The ribbon cable wasn't tucked down in properly. The second part, they did not remove the old adhesive, so I think that's what led to the other screen coming back up, plus the ribbon cable was sticking out. So I'm gonna call that pretty good. Fairly good, pretty good. Let's go one round with some IPA quick. Just to clear any dust that might have settled in the hours since I left. And we already went around, but we're gonna get rid of all of our glass, adhesive, everything from doing this here repair. Old screen. We have to retrieve our home button, so we'll start working on this, I suppose. We have to get that part up, pry up the bracket, hopefully get the adhesive off and get it stuck to the new screen. So perhaps we'll do that now or later. Now, we'll do it definitely now. Plus, we have to also get our metal bracket from this. We'll wait for that till when we turn the heat gun on. Okay, so I'm just using, you've seen these tools before, using this to get under and lift this part of the home button off of the adhesive. And then we have the bracket we also have to move. You know what, let's get the heat gun out. That will let it release much, much easier. Or hot air station, heat gun. Take your pick, it's one of those. So am I the only one hearing this stuff? Let's hit apply, see if we can add. Okay, there's the audio source. So I've been hearing it the whole time, it just hasn't been added. Alright, hot air. We don't need a lot, we just do need some. Should be more than enough. Just redock that. And we're going to use our same little pry tool to lift this bracket up. And the home button ribbon cable is stuck to it on the side, so do take care not to rip that apart. Let's take a closer look at that if we can. There it goes. I was beginning to believe that wasn't going to focus. Alright, yeah, we still got audio. Nice. Well, I don't know. Do we even risk trying to unstick that part there and risk ripping the ribbon cable? And it's free except for the button, the little rubber seal around the button. Press lightly as this little rubber gasket that holds your home button in will rip fairly easy. Add some brief heat. It should let the adhesive unstick fairly easy. Alright, home button retrieved. I think we're done with this one. We need to get the adhesive for the new screen. We'll get that in a moment. We're going to go back to our hot air. There's not much harm on this broken screen. But with a little heat, we will be able to pull that adhesive off a lot easier without stretching it. But again, you don't want too much heat. 1822. Okay. What's next? What are we gonna do? Do we dare put that button on there? It's hard to believe that that works with a big chip out of it. Do you see that? It's not a standard feature of the button, is it? There has to be a chip in it. It has to be. Let's try and check. Is that what it is? Yes, it is. It's cracked, broken. Right, well, that's not good news. So what I'm wondering is, did they never remove the old adhesive from the home button? Because it doesn't look like, from the bracket, it doesn't appear that it was removed, and that could have been why. It'll take a few moments and clean that up on each side, just to get that junk off of there. Perhaps even take it back off of that screen and use new adhesive. Sounds like a fairly decent idea, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Song almost sounds like it's skipping, but it's not. Okay. That sucks. Noted. Keeping Gugon and IPA off of the mod mat. It will remove the paint, graphics, whatever it is that's on it. Okay, so I'm going to say there's still a square of some type. Is it on there or is it off? Let's see if we can move that. We're going to use a bit of metal for the time being. Let's see if it moves. Yeah. Old adhesive, never removed. That's why the home button was left floating in place, so they just stuck down some new stuff. So we're going to take that clear stuff off. They had never actually removed the old off of the home button. So we're going to get this pulled off of here. And then we'll continue to clean that up. We don't need the panel, just the adhesive. And then we also have this other side. It's going to be tricky because the ribbon cable is attached to it. What do we do about that? Detach the ribbon cable from it. It's just stuck on there. Heat it up and peel it loose. But we're going to risk it. We're going to leave the cable attached to the home button. But we need to peel up this piece of adhesive that's left on here. Then we're going to stick new onto the back of the digitizer. I don't know if you recall, but I showed you before we detached the digitizer and the LCD screen that the home button was just in there floating around in the video earlier today. So yeah, not cool. We definitely don't want it to be a repeat. And like I said, this can you go get a 10-minute repair done? 10-15 minute, maybe I'm gonna say 25-30 minute repair, sure, and have it succeed and work? Yes. Are you getting all this stuff done as well? I don't know. I can't guarantee it. And I can't say every kiosk is bad, because who am I? I'm just some guy in central Pennsylvania that doesn't know a whole lot. That's really sketchy with that button ribbon cable in the way. We rip that, we're done. I'm gonna try and get it out of the way to scratch this one little bit. I just don't want to slip and cut through the ribbon cable. That would be awful. Alright, I'm gonna say that is good. I'm gonna take some IPA and clean each side and peel that old crap back off, the whatever gummy substance they used, and we'll put down our own adhesive to hold this home button back in place. Not that whatever it is that they used isn't sticky. It is, most certainly is, but it's not laying flat, and the tolerances for a piece that's just balled up just a little bit and may not be laying 100% flat versus something that is laying flat may be the, usually it means the difference from a home button that stays in place versus one that's going to be floating around like it was. So let's not risk that. We're going to clean this quick and then try and get this button attached in place. Side one, let's go for side two. Alright, that's evaporating fairly quickly. I'm going to say that's good in that part. Where else is this going to go wrong? Tell me now, tell me now. This big? No, we need bigger than that. Let's find this and cut 2 pieces of our dragon tape. Okay, tweezers. Here's one. We gotta cut this off. Is a little bigger than the base of the home button bracket should be okay. I'm going to go for one more piece and not stick it to the ribbon cable or the home button. And we have to find a way to cut this off. Okay, cut number 2. Okay, mission accomplished. We got new adhesive on here that we can adhere to the back of our digitizer panel. Everything else should be okay, we hope. Right? Right. Let's take a quick moment. I'm trimming on the hard counter because this counter is just wood. We have one that has a coating on it behind me here. Going to trim off that excess quick. Alright, and then all we have is the backing and we're ready to stick it. Quite a bit of stuff around the home button. Scrape some of it loose. As long as there's, fine dust is okay, but ideally you want it clean. What next? It's green, or yeah, we're gonna do the. Still gonna retrieve that other piece. It's green it is. Alright, verdict. We need to remove this cable from there to be able to stick the home button in, get it aligned, and then stick this bracket over it and get it aligned properly. So let's see, can pull just a little. Alright, that's in place. Now let's attempt to stick this in. And I totally missed it. Alright, so if you've never messed with a home button before, on this type of iPad or some iPhones where you have the metal bracket that's attached, you'll have a little button in the center, possibly a little metal thing that clicks to a button hooked to the bracket, whichever way they have it on the specific model you're working on. You need to have them two lined up with each other. That and that, but they're upside down facing each other. So that's the idea there, and it will click. I think with the removal of the excess adhesive, that's going to do the trick for us on this repair, and will make all the difference in not letting there be a floating home button that you can kind of push in a little and then slide out of place. Any more little bits of adhesive stuck to me? Not seeing it. So one. No, it's just going to stay focused on that button, so we'll do it down here by it. One chance, let's not screw this up. So we have to go under that part and over the rest. I don't know that that is on and in place properly, but let's see if our button has a click. Because I doubt you can hear it, but little bit wrong where it's not lined up. It's just off center slightly, so we got to try and move it. What do you think you're doing? Get off of there. It's still not centered as much as it could be. We gotta pull it up. Alright, home button in place. Let's go for a little higher on this one. Where's that dot? Alright, I put a mark on roughly where it is on the other side. Still down yet? I'll see you. Pretty close to centered. Let's see. Alright, reliable, clicky feedback each time. We're going with that. Screen prepped, ready. Let's get it out of the way. We're gonna put the screen back in there. Alright, let the nightmare begin. Oh boy. Much fun. Still need that stupid little metal bracket. Here goes another. We're going to set our screen here and attempt to get. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Not happening. We need the other one, the digitizer. So we're going to lay that up. Let's see where the tape is. Okay, so they flipped the one over and just literally stuck it to the screen. But is that right? Let's find out quick. It has to be, right? If somebody did it. Don't bother checking any sources. Okay, so pop up any ad. let's see what they're talking. Do we need insulate panel? It looks like it has, but this is going to come off. But where is it going to come off of? I think we're supposed to peel that one. To be the whole way up. So well, I have to run around and tape that off so it doesn't have phantom touching issues. It's gonna go crazy if it does. Boy. It looks like it could be covered. We're gonna try it without taping it up with Kapton tape. If we end up having phantom touch issues, we're gonna have to crack this thing back open and tape it up. Luckily, we have 2 screens. Those look pretty poorly soldered there. I don't see that being a good solution. That appears to be it. Yeah, I don't see any of the traces like in the picture. Let's close that. And mine's definitely like that one, not the other one where they're on all 4. Bronze and gold colored screen. I don't want a curve on that stuff. Let's say, I know this is the way it comes out of the box, but I'm gonna say poor quality, possibly. But I'm gonna feed. Which one am I looking at here? Two coming off that one here. Okay, so we're gonna put this one in under, and hopefully we can do it, even though it didn't come that way. You're so close to being out of the way. Let's move already. Alright, with that out of the way, and that underneath, that being there is just making it more confusing. But with that out of the way, now I can fold this cable up, and I don't have to, I can fold it up and stick it where it needs to be stuck down without running out into the display area. Let's take a moment to do that. I'm going to fold it and then remove the adhesive, only after we have a pretty good fold on it. There's not a lot of room here, and it looks like it can run right out into view in your display without any problems. So fold your cable over, pre-fold it. Best advice. Like I said, I never did one of this gen. I don't remember doing an iPad where the cables came off the side, just the iPhones where it opened like a book. And that's all back from where it's not going to be seen. I probably messed up massively by doing that like that. Alright, cable folded. Let's peel the adhesive and stick it down. The bad part about this. Where we have to stick it. We got this inside screen protector on. Why can't we move it temporarily? Because, yeah, no. Alright, let's do the dumb thing and try and cut the digitizer. Why not? And I think we can lift our cable over here again because it's on that clear part. Come out or no? gonna rip the cable. Alright, so there it is. We got that part peeled up. Let's try and get our home button cable back in place. Alright, now we're going to attempt to cut out where this inner screen protector is. That's the last thing you want to peel off is that. You don't want to peel it off and you're working and you touch it, bump it, dust and stuff falling on it. That's just, yeah, not acceptable, not cool. How do we do this without cutting our digitizer? And we need a short straight edge. If you've ever done a screen repair and got the inside of your digitizer all dirty and then you spend an hour cleaning it or however long, you know what I'm talking about. That's exactly why I'm trying to take precautions now and cut this out of the way. We're still probably undoubtedly gonna get something on there, so let's peel this up part way and we're gonna cut a long hard line. Should just skip all the dumbness and just peel it up. Suffer. Clean the stupid thing later. Alright, area revealed where we can stick our digitizer cable to. But sadly, we got some dust there, so we're probably still going to have to clean it. So, did he cut out deeper? Looks like it is for that cable. So that one, then that one doesn't really stick, but that should fall down in. We don't. We want to avoid the same pitfall that happened with the last repair. So hopefully we're doing that. Even if we're taking a lot further or a lot longer than 10 minutes, I think we can avoid the problem. All right, we got a clicky button. Correct? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. All right. Back to this fight. And I don't see it happening, honestly. We have our, what is that thing? The, what do I want to call it? Home button. We got that cable there. We got to feed that in, latch it in. We're really going to practice, but we're going to try and get, I know our bracket will hold these in, and then we need them to fall down in. It looks like they naturally want to curve down in. So we just need something for this to rest against. Can we still lay this down without any issue? We put it up there. I think, nah, we need something for it to rest again. The only one here today. Let's do hard drives. We still need this guy here. Yeah, perfect. A little bit of heat and it falls right off. It's about to get real bad, real quick. We ready? I think I can see why they maybe skipped that screw to make it easier to get things back together, but oh man, extra parts or yeah, missing parts or I mean, what's worse, missing parts or extra screws, like extra screws, extra parts, whenever there's supposed to be none? Which one's worse? Is there a screw went in? And again, that screw was missing when we opened this up initially. I'm getting feedback from. That's a crazy sound. All right, we have battery to reconnect, screen to flip in, screw down, and then we peel protective layers and slam it together, right? This horrible idea. And what is this, like they poked a hole in it or something? You can see it's the battery. Yeah, something happened with this. I don't even know. Do we stop repair? What's going on here? Why? What are these marks on the back of the old display? One of them lines up with that mark on the battery. It's almost like they glued it. We're gonna have to warranty it, or we warranty our work anyways. That I mean, we have this on video. That's very questionable. Like I don't know what would have went on there. It's not punctured, but it looks like glue. Something was there at some point in it. There's a mark here, like it was pressed together and spread out, or who knows. And another here. There's only one mark in the battery. That's what makes it more confusing. Let's get it together, see if it charges, works as expected. Before we flip this screen into place, we should get our torque wrench. We're going to torque 120 pounds. Torque these down, and we'll be good to go. Oh yeah, this thing, and then we got to get the fold on it. All right, so I laid these out with the iPad differently. This is our longer one. We're going to put it up in the corner where it goes now, if not confused. Or no, I did. My fault. I did tear it apart sideways. Okay, yeah, these three same size. I tore apart in this orientation. These three are the same size. This one's different. I had my screws laying here. Can you see those? Yeah, so this is the one that's longer. Much better. It's actually threading in instead of the infinity spin. Where I tighten these completely down, we're going to give the LCD a little jiggle just to get it. Should be where it goes. However, now should be work and off and down. A little wiggle room, not much. I'm guessing it's built with those tolerances in mind, which are none. I don't see a protective tab sticking off anywhere. There better be a protector on this screen. They should. Yes, there has to be. It's not near as glossy. Or it's just really bad and dirty. One of the two. Is that peeling easy or am I peeling protective layer off? Let's take a peek. Yep, that's the screen we want there underneath. Okay, good deal. Our battery blocker that we mocked up today worked. Did the job so far. We don't know that it worked, but it seems to have worked. All right, one other major issue now that we have everything all connected together. It's always fun peeling the adhesive off. It's a bloody nightmare. So we got to work on that, and then the protective layers. I think we're going to do adhesive first, and then the protective layers, and then sandwich it together. Or do we put it together now to try and train them cables into place? Yes, let's do that first, actually. Let's see. All right, so far I don't have any cables poking out here where the original repair had them poking out, and they got gorilla glued and all kind of other stuff. They are falling right down in the hole. I see how that could happen now. I genuinely do. All right, done. Have a good morning. Just kidding. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. They went in fairly easy. So I'm gonna say we should be able to get that without much trouble, as long as we can get the adhesive off without ripping any of our 3 cables that are in there. It's gonna be the hardest part, I think. They give us a break there. Is there one? There is one over here. And we have that back piece. So break there, break there. And there's a couple breaks. Let's work on the harder pieces first, namely this one that runs along here by the close to these ribbon cables. That's what we don't want, is anything getting stuck to them. Maybe we do that one last when we can. No, we're gonna do it. We gotta do it first. Get in there where you're supposed to go. I'm gonna flip this over quick, and then peel this one out this side. What are you hitting? It's hitting something. What is it? Oh, just okay, where it ends. And then we have one more to get out. That's gonna be fun. We have this one here. Dumb move, but we're trying it. Just don't slip and hit any of our cables. We should be okay, correct? And the sharp blade is picking up the adhesive, so we got to get it with this. Perhaps these. Are we free of the... Yes, we are. Okay, home button. All right. Now we're going to flip this back up. Try and keep our ribbon cables away from that where we peeled that adhesive off the back. Very important for that adhesive going back down. And we got to get this guy out of there. What a nightmare. Why would anybody ever want to work on these things? And we should have one more here in the center. and it's all coming up all at once. Alright, the ribbon cables are unstuck. The worst part of the whole thing is right here. What are we going to get stuck to the edge? Practically everything is right there where it can get stuck. And yeah, that's right, I forgot. How much of this do we got to clean off? How much dirt do we get on this inside part? That was outside, thankfully. So far, so good. We had no ribbon cables sticking out the edges, so I guess that's a good thing. Oh, does it work? We still got backlight. We still got an Apple. Wonderful, magical. I wonderful, I magical. iPad tastical. Look, an Apple in the front and back. Imagine that. Will we be able to? I was flipping up. I don't know. I don't know what happens when these start up. So it's disabled. Home to unlock. Disabled. Connect to iTunes. So we do have a home button, but we got to connect it to iTunes. We have a. Tell me we can't touch or test touch until it gets connected to iTunes. All right, to be continued. I'll record a short clip whenever let me see. Let me check the paperwork to see if we have any info for logging on. Okay. I'm connecting my iTunes is going to do what? Why not? We got our flashy light cable. Oh, probably not my antenna. Step down. Okay, so the home button does wake it up again with the phone. And this is what I was worried about. Did cutting that cable do anything to it in any type of way? Let's find out. Okay, so we can still charge. iPad is disabled. Connect to iTunes. Fine. We're gonna charge it up. To be continued. The home button now functions and wakes it up. I don't have any type of touch, but when it's sleepy time, I can wake it up with that. And the button's not floating around to where you can. Oh, I take that back. It is still a little. We're gonna have to fix that. It's not great, but it's in there. Those rubber gaskets never truly do seal it down. Right now. Okay. Take that back. It's in there now. We're gonna have to weight it so everything sticks. So we'll do that. Yeah, it was just not pressed down completely. Once you press it down, the button's in place. All right. Buttoned up. We're gonna get some weight put on this thing to brush it down. However, not on this counter. I think, how long were we doing this? Yeah, too long. 138. Good number. So the computer we were working on the other day, the Dell Inspiron 243455 series, is sad. It did the entire check disk. I was able to exit, rebooted, and that's kind of the end of the story. Rebooted, and that's where it wants to perpetually hang out at. So, where are you? Pentalobe? Yes. We're gonna do a pop in on that thing, see what, let's deal with it. I think they're lying when they said hard drive, but possibly, we don't know. Let's get some weight for this. Where can we weight it at? That is not going to be in the way. Don't need to charge right now. This needs out of the way, out of my way. you're smaller than, so we want you on the bottom. Perfect. All right, lightning out of the way. We got all this leftover awesomeness in this glass. I'm gonna hit the power button just because we're it's unplugged. Now, oh, we have a Dell logo, but we won't get much past that. It goes to a spinner. Maybe something will happen different than last time. Yeah, we did the check disc. It does this, and I've let it sit on a black screen for hours, and nothing happens. So, hard drive it is. Now, I didn't get a black screen with a spinner there, I'll tell you that. But that faded pretty directly. Pretty quick, that one disappeared. So, what do? We let it sit and wait and accomplish nothing with it, or finish it? I say finish it. As far as doing anything, we don't appear to be lit in any type of way. No lighting. Power is on, but there's just nothing. What do we do? What's the move? We're gonna pull the drive, try and get data. To do, yeah, we're gonna try and get the data. To get the data, yeah, we got work to do. The spinner will spin. It doesn't go nowhere. It sat from yesterday till today. It didn't make it anywhere. So it's time to open this thing up and start retrieving. Oh, just those two. Okay. So I think we remembered how we got to this point. If not, turn your computer off. Get the cords out of it. You don't work on them with the cord in. Always. Sometimes. If you lift this out of the way, you can grab this, pull up, let the foot down to give it space, pull the door, and then you're going to need, what is that, Phillips? Looks like Phillips. I'm going to turn the AC on. It's getting very warm in here. Give me 1 second. As well as a quick drink break. So iPad to be continued. Sadly. Start it over. Alright, got our sound back. Alright, let's take out our two M4 screws. How I know that? It says it right there. It's on. It's in the caption below the picture. We have anything in there? It's the one screw that we tried. It didn't work for nothing. You let me down. You didn't work. In that iPad, they throw you away. Right. So let's see. Oh, we could have got them by folding the arm down. So don't fold your arm up. It's gonna snap up as soon as one screw comes out. Fold it down. You can get right and remove it. It is keyed at the top. So lift up, pull toward you a little, continue lifting up. Where to next? Is this a front one or is the back snap off of this thing? We actually have directions here, so let's make sense out of them. Okay, so in the picture, let's make sense out of this real quick. Light? Okay, light, so the light's not glaring on this matte part, just the shiny stuff. So we have 1 and 2. Basically what they're telling us in the picture, as you can see, we gotta grip this thing up. We're gonna start snapping the whole base off, like the hole around the edge. In the picture here, they're showing this side port. There is a cutout for the CD-ROM, but it would be more rectangle. In the picture, it has that little port there. You can see right there. And then here's the cutout. This is the cutout for your back panel, and then your little side port area, which relates to here, and then there. You know, that little same shape. Let's go for now, which one is it? I think it's telling us this cover. We're gonna need something to get under there, or a pick, or one of our broken pry tools. First, let's flip this up and see if it's gonna separate it there, or do we gotta get it on the very bottom? Okay. So there's a cutout here and here. Yeah, it just don't seem like it's gonna be a fun time. And also, like, we might need a little more gusto. Here first. Okay. Really just pull up in the middle. One, and pick the middle up, and it lets the snaps come out much easier so far. So what it is with Dells and all-in-ones, it always seems like they show you pulling the panel up this way and it just comes right off. In my experience with a lot of Dell and HP all-in-ones, when you gotta pull either the whole back panel off, like the whole thing surrounds the whole way around, or part of it where it's split like this one clearly is, come up part of it and then one side comes off, and then you kind of work the other side off gradually. Okay, we have our hard drive. We're going to take a look at some other stuff. Here, let's check our RAM. 8 gigs of PC3L, 12800S, 1111F3. We have a dirty fan. That, much to my surprise, can actually take apart. You don't have to cut plastic tabs and end up putting screws in. For those there, it actually has screws in it. Way to go, Dell. Thought Inspiron was the kind of cheaper, economical line for people, but you are letting us, any users, the end user, consumer of this product, take their fan apart, or whoever they have work on can take it apart and clean it, rather than having to cut the little melted plastic tabs. Clean, not good as new, but still clean. You pull the heatsink off. It does have some jam up in it. Let's get a more directional brush. Alright, we're going to hold our fan. This is fairly stiff bristled, so we're not going to try and break anything. A lot softer. You can tell when you're working on something if it feels like it's moving it too much or something's going to break. It probably is. Switch out to something else. That's what, a metal peg. So yeah, this is here. The user said it needed a hard drive. I thought the check disc was really going to do something for it, but it did not. A 5-volt fan would have been nice to see a 12-volt in there, but not necessary, I suppose. Alright, looks much better than it did. I think, anyhow, right? Better? Yes? No? Alright, we still have some stuff jammed up in heatsink. Let's get it out of there. We'll check our paste while we're here. CPU is soldered to the motherboard. And I feel like my coherent speech. Am I speeching it right? Let's try and twist this one to get it more in our area where we're at. There. Try that. Probably not hearing a thing all night. Been muted. Alright, we have some completely dry thermal paste. A bit too much, but there's a bit of a difference. Let me talk about this for a moment. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I will take a moment anyhow. This is kind of one of those just in case you didn't ever say anything about it, but more than likely did, but take a moment. So this CPU here, you can see the die. Until I zoomed in, you can see it. Alright, you can see it again now. Don't pretend you can't. So you can see that the die is exposed. This one isn't. This has a heat spreader on it. That's what this, you can't see it. This is the die core. It's right there. It's exposed. It doesn't have a heat spreader over it. This one does have like a lid. That's one of the things they do when you get into overclocking and trying to get better temps to get a higher clock speed on your CPU. You can lap these, which is basically sending all the nickel and silver, whatever the coating is on. I think it's nickel and a couple other things. Plus the surface is very inconsistent. It's not flat. Even though it appears flat, it's not. Once you start sanding it on something flat, you can tell it'll start sanding off parts before, like, it'll come off unevenly. So what they'll do is take and sand it down, getting finer and finer grit sandpaper until this is an all copper. All the copper is revealed, and then get it to a nice mirror polish. And the same thing with your cooler. They'll get that and take. Some people lap cooler, some don't, depending what they're doing or how extreme they're going with the overclocking. But yeah, with this you don't need to do that. Some people even delid, which means take off the heat spreader to get a better clock speed. So with these, you need a little bit. You can put pressure on it with you're going to get a lot of pressure for CPU cooler, whatever the heat sink that you're putting on there. With these, you're going to have pressure too. This type of CPU where there's no lid, no heat spreader, and you're just looking at the die. You can't have as much pressure because you can crack those, but you do want to put more thermal compound on than you would for one of these. In a sense, like I guess it's relative. You want more because you need to get the whole thing actually covered instead of having it smash out. And generally, these are soldered around the edge, I believe. If they're not soldered around the edge, I've never delidded a CPU myself, but they'll be soldered in there. If not to the die, they're soldered somewhere, and it's a nightmare to get them off. Anyhow, yeah, there's that quick little thing. Where did I put that clamshell? Is it right in front of me and I'm just too dumb to see it? It was. Okay, so we're going to clean off that old thermal compound and clean it off here and put some new stuff on. Let's see, is it tacky or is it dry? It looks fairly dry. We'll see. So yeah, it's crumbling as it comes off. I mean, it is coming off. It's got a little tack to it, but not much. It's more dry than tacky. So it just kind of peeled up like old dry icing on a cake or something, okay? This is where we want to be careful. Always be careful on a CPU that doesn't have a heat spreader. You do not want to crack your die. You crack that, you're going to be very sad. It's not going to be a CPU anymore. It's going to be a U. You're going to be missing the CPU, or the CPU at least. It'll be a unit for sure. It's not going to be a central processing, but it will be a unit, a dead unit. And you know, a little bottle of booze. I'm going to use this little bottle of booze to clean up the rest of that gunk. What is this thing even? Is this an AMD chip? Take a look here in a moment. We got some really stubborn paste right there. It doesn't want to come on. There it is. So that right there, my friends. I don't know if you can read that. I think we're zoomed into the max. That, yeah, it's not going to show, is it? Not even close. AMD, lock the light, lock the light. I promise it says it in this corner right here. We go. AMD, you saw it, I saw it. There's the evidence. Oh yeah, we were cruddy under here. Wow, we got some, call it rust, but some type of corrosion. Somebody spray chemicals in the back of the dust that got like Lysol or who knows what in it. All right, little bottle of booze, and we will. And this one. And let's go one more on the die around the CPU with a little bit of our alcohol. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to put a gob of this on here. We want it to cover it. That should do the trick. And let's reattach. There's some super long screws for what basically equates to a laptop motherboard with some vertical jacks instead of horizontal, or vertical I/O instead of the horizontal running off the edge of the board. Okay, there's that. Let's get our fan put back in. Pretty happy with that. That cleaned up nice. So I hope this music thing worked out. Like, not that it's great or even entertaining, but it's some sound other than the dead quiet, because I don't know the first thing of what I should be saying. And lid for our fan. These definitely have to hit 120 pounds with the torque wrench. I'm not going to trust that. That's not going to spin out or vibrate and lose once that fan gets turning. These fans spin hundreds, thousands of times, depending, millions, billions, depending on how long you let your computer run. So we got to torque them down for sure. Release our hard drive from its cage. But not yet. That was a dumb idea. There we go. can't no, we got to take it out of this little sled to interface with it anyhow. So let's do that quick. Why it is it won't fit in the toaster, obviously, with that on. Our set of the USB 3 adapters not happening because that's right in line with the SATA ports. And they extend outward. They'll slide on and extend out past the ports each way. So we have to desled this thing. Deslay it. Kind of like when Flat Earth Santa wrecks his sleigh. He's deslayed temporarily. Got that. Put your money down. What is the bet? What's going on with this hard drive? Get your bets in, people. What is going on with it? And finally, we're gonna move this thing out of the way. First, I have to get my an old thing. It's basically something that a computer laptop got shipped in a box in this. You can see fairly big. There it is. That's roughly the size and shape. Some cutouts, but set the square portion down on the floor, the all level part, and then screens and whatnot. Screens all-in-ones I will set on here to get them out of the way, clear them off the bench for a short time. We got a semi-clear work area. No screws. All right, find one of my helpers, one of the workers. Got the MSI thermal pads did come in, so we can do proper thermal paste replacement. Let's get this thing turned on. Get your bets in, people. Get your bets in. We are about to find out the status of this hard drive. What is going on with it? All right. Where does it make more sense here? And then we'll plug into USB 3. Well, that's good news. The drive showed up. Whether it's gonna load and boot, I did not. Did we go into the BIOS on that one? No, that was the red laptop we went in and switched from UEFI over to CSM boot. Yeah, that was the red laptop, and then we did a system restore. This just would boot up at all. What do we do with it? Do we scan it for malware? I don't have Malwarebytes on here. No. Okay, so really trying to think, what do we do about this? We can get the data. She does want a new life for the computer. Getting an SSD. I don't have any other diagnostic tools on here. Let's see about if I have quick access to either CTools or Data Lifeguard. Okay, so we do have CTools. Where is it? Application. Is that not it? No, wrong one. My bad. We want this one. Yeah, CTools for Windows. Scanning for supported drives, please wait. So it is the Seagate utility, but we have WD drive. Should still work to do a basic test on it. Scanning for supported drives. Please wait. Not responding. Okay, so did I need to admin that? This program, cancel. Care about it. Let's see if it livens up. Let's unplug this hard drive. CTools for Windows. Funny thing, it's not even showing. There it is. End. Boy, this is being super difficult with closing. Let's we're gonna do a restart. I don't have any other option right now other than try and force a restart. We're not gonna run it through this drive. This drive is bad. Let's look for another. Try this victim here. usual suspect. And let's get power for the computer. Alright, now power port's kind of blocking our hard drive. Okay, we'll move it over here. The drive mounts fairly quick. I suppose we could do error checking. Alright, there goes our drive. C tools. Right click, run as admin. If it locks up again, I'm going to say we got an issue with the drive, and we're going to get it plugged into the toaster, and that'll be that. Plug it into the toaster, and we are legit grabbing the data before anything else happens. Okay, so we got a spinner on the Windows thing. I was going to try and show you this. And C Tools is not responding, locking up. We're going to unplug the hard drive. Or it's just completely done. Toast isn't working with Windows 10. That's fine. Task manager not responding. We got a broken computer. We're going to copy C Tools over to the desktop real quick. Pull it out, close all the prompts that keep popping up. You know what? We're going to use the USB-C side just because I don't get to use it that often and it should be more reliable. Or we just killed our drive. Okay, so we're going to have to recover that. Try it on a different computer. We're going to format and scan it. That's one of our good drives that we actually did a lot of work with. but it's just always had an issue since day one with this side. Plus, let's not ignore the fact that I did pop it open, cut the case down to make it so it slid back and forth, and it was a pain. That's how it probably ended up getting broken. Trying to put it in, it would slide, so you'd try and hold it. So I made it a non-slider, just a permanent outie, not a permanent outie on both sides. And back to this guy, we're going to copy it over, unless this is broke as well. All right, we had something broke .NET framework, so we're going to shut down, restart, and hopefully we're not having very good luck tonight. We may just have to end it. Stream, you weirdos. Yeah, nothing's excessively hot. See, I haven't really ran this since we did the repaste and all that, but alright, will our USB work? Please work. Little USB drive. Oh no, it suffered a tragic death. Alright, we're gonna plug this into another real quick and see. Running C-tools and then pulling the drive when being scanned will hurt your drive. I've never known that to be the case, but you know what? Okay, we have a working drive. Before I do anything dumb, we're going to copy C-tools to the desktop. Alright, C-tools on the desktop, hard drive going in. I pulled this during C-tools, but it's fine. So what's the excuse for the USB drive? Run them up as admin. No matter what's going on, we're letting this at least finish. Or okay, and it went through. Except USB 3 cable, we see it. Let's put our little check mark and basic test. We're going to do a short drive stuff test and find out short DST test on our 1 terabyte Western Digital drive. It's probably going to take a bit being USB 3, but and now I have a couple other drives to recover. Fun. Okay, so the short DST failed. We didn't even hit 10%. So let's take a look at that real quick if we can. Yeah, I don't even have to go back far enough. But as we can see, not even 10%. Short DST fail, and I mean it legit stopped. So it's not even doing nothing else. So I think we have our results. the drive going with the toaster, and we're attempting to grab the data. Disk management. I'm going to see what happened to our drive. So basically it's unallocated. We're going to end up formatting it and then running a scan to recover it. But not tonight. For now, I'm going to do some fun stuff. We're going to throw... Just give me a moment. Let me see if I can do this reasonably so anybody else can see what we got happen. Display board, that would be basic if we had it. Let's just do I'm gonna try something new here. We got our HDMI out. Wake up our if we do, how would we do that? Okay, so we prepare. Same thing. And it's the LCD. We want to repair. I removed the other repair. Let me see if it's still on. No. So what we're going to do is make it real quick. We're going to make a... So we need an actual scene. Call it that. Now the source quick. We're going to do a video capture. And that's what you are. Oh, it's not. And here goes nothing. We're getting our other repair. Set up, please. Well, not that it's important, but do it live on the fly. See if it's possible. Generally, this ends badly, so very badly. Properties. Hit the cam link. Which one is it? Custom audio device. I'll capture the audio from that. Let's see. Deactivate, activate. Duplicate. And we should be coming up with a video pretty quick here. Deactivate, activate. There we go. Okay, finally. Where is it? Where is it? Alright, so we're going to take and plug in our hard drive. The old all-in-one was absolutely awful. You would plug it in to do anything with it, and it would legit just sit there and flash like a maniac. Like you could run HDMI in to either of the capture cards. It was completely banana. Okay, so we have a drive. Let's try Fabs. There it is. What do we want to do? We want to back up. So, oh, that is not the right one. We need the other one. Do I have it on? We have to plug in another USB. That's just the Home Edition. We need the one with Pro on it. And let's run as admin. So right now we're just going to grab a backup on that drive while it still at least mounts backup data. We get to pick it out. EOS. And this is probably where it's going to show a name. Hopefully not. Alright. Nothing legible. Anyhow. We'll go ahead and put a new folder on the desktop. Alright, rename to real keyboard. Alright, that's where our backup is going to go to. We'll hit that. We want the date. Next. Next. Let it do that. next, and show the size where it does it. Alright, I don't have a button to switch back to this. Let me get a button. See. Okay, I've got a button now. I can switch back to it. Go. And again, there we go. Alright, so let's find my button. Back to the Dell. Alright, let's finish this back up. And while that's doing what it's doing there, I keep hitting that stupid button. We're going to move this computer out of the way. So we know that we had a fail on short test, which is not good. We also need to see how much data we're backing up, because we don't have any massive SSDs here right now, but she is getting an SSD put into this, and we don't have a 1 terabyte, so we can't use a 256 or 512 if she's got like 700 gigabytes of data on this here computer. So we got to see what our data backup's going to be. It's over there scanning, doing its thing, as is evidence right there. So for now, hopefully we got enough room to get the data on, and if not, we're gonna have to get a bigger one, bigger drive, and this is just pointless, everything we just did. I mean, it's not pointless in the sense that we're getting the data, but we can end this site. Brown menu bookmarks here is such a nuisance. There's so much stuff there. The user data. Alright, we're about to get a sub. So, what do you think? This computer has a 1 terabyte drive in it. I don't see any personal identifiable user data there. And we have 16.06 gigabytes of data. Is it going to be okay? Will it be okay to go to a 256 gigabyte drive? Will that be alright? It should be. So, that being said, let's pop back over here for the time being. We're going to launch our backup. We know where it's in it. We'll go back here, and we'll put our drive in. We're probably not going to fill it up anytime soon, but there is always room to upgrade. And we do have somewhat of an instruction set for this. all the errors were pointing to a new drive. The disk check was probably queued up from turning it on and off trying to get it to work. But she did say the message straight up said the drive in replace, so that's what we're doing. I did try to not do it, but what do? Can't win every fight, so. And this is basically going to conclude this edition of After Hours. Right as soon as we get this put back together, get some good new age, not old fashioned, new age Windows 10 installed. We don't need. Did we do that on the stream? How many times do we really gonna install Windows 10 and call it a different video? Did I spoke that right? I had to have, right? So we got a new thermal compound, fan cleaned out, heat, or fin stack cleaned out, everything cleaned off, new paste, new drive. All else looks well in the computer. No evidence with a quick scan of everything of any liquid or anything else. So I'm gonna say almost at a great place to end this. We have 4.6 gigs left to copy. All right, we're in. Everything else is fastened down. We're gonna check those just to make sure we tightened our heatsink. We indeed did. Put our screw in for our drive. We've really got to swing this upward to get it to go. We did. Like cracking the screen the whole way around the edge, pushing on it, crunch, crunch, crunch. I'll just die if that was the case. No, that was actually the reason for getting the big mod mat, to have an even surface to press down on instead of supported in each of the four corners with, little mouse pads. There's that. Let's spin this around real quick and get our put our feet back on it. All-in-ones generally like some type of feet, legs, something better than nothing to work with. And our data backup, 1.12 gigs left. And counting megabytes now. Thought I was going to get this done before that finished, but I don't think I'll get this screw turned in, let alone the door on. We're at megabytes. It's literally, it's done. All right, so the Dell, the Optiplex 9030 all-in-one with an upgraded CPU, maxed out RAM, and SSDs in the optical bay, and in the hard drive sled. that a peely? Is that a peely on here? Hold on a minute now. Peely on here. No, matches. Power. We'll skip the internet for now. We need mouse and keyboard. It also some Windows install media if we didn't roast it, which we probably did. Support. We have 10 UEFI somewhere, anywhere in my pocket. No, right here. Into the USB 3 port. You go. What is this? A Dell? F12. We want our boot menu. All right, boot options coming up. And USB 1, UEFI. Sure, certainly. Let's do it. All right, we're piping our data over to our NVMe drive, and we'll scan it over on that computer. But for now, we got Windows install ripped through, and I think we can safely end it here. Hard drive is what the computer came in. Where's the paperwork for this one? We did look at this. Cover up the password as well. Hopefully nothing goes up. And our error did say said needs hard drive, but I have no clue. So this is what we did with, if you remember that. When you get to this screen for Windows, where it's the agreement, just hit your space bar, put the check and enter, moves it on. Down arrow, enter for the custom install, and enter for next. Or you can mouse around and click. Some people are some people's a mouser, some people's a keyer. Anyhow, that's that. I'm gonna end the stream there. Thank you for hanging out. If you did, it was a long one. We accomplished the iPad kind of. We're waiting on connect iTunes and see what works because it's stable. We're locked out of it for now. So we don't want to coupon printer. Unreal. Anyhow, have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. If any of this it's being weighted down. If any of this is the thing that you're into, well, somebody needs it, give them a hand, get it done, make it great again, make it function, work. Keep it from going in the landfill for a little while longer instead of buying new constantly. I think we'll end on that message. Thanks for clicking the link and coming over. Share it. Share, like, subscribe, whatever, if you want to do any of those. Well, we'll see you next time. Hopefully Sunday for the podcast. Hopefully.